Welcome, fellow plebeians. We have this time a rather heirloom antique piece of furniture that requires a felt top. Now, I realize that's sort of a one-off thing, yet it's something interesting to add to our collection here on the channel. So I'm also going to throw in some helpful tips for the automotive people so that we don't lose you on this video too. Also, we've had many comments from people that are new to the channel, and I would like to take a few minutes and address those comments if you don't mind. So the purpose of the channel, of course, is to help fellow technicians and suppliers as well. And if you're a new technician, then I would encourage you to watch every video all the way through and see what our goal is here, see what we're doing as far as promoting the industry, and try to avoid negative, outdated sort of comments, but rather watch and learn. And for those of you of the public who happen to drop in and watch, you always maybe expect me also to be able to help you, and I can't always. And as a matter of fact, in each video, we make a notation in the description box that it's not a DIY channel, not even interested in anything DIY. I appreciate DIY. I'm one of those guys. But please understand that I have to limit my involvement in what I do for free. Okay? And just to understand the channel a little bit, I don't have a sponsor for the channel. I've never sold you any products. I've never solicited any service. I've never asked any viewer for a dime. Okay? And there's no one getting paid sitting here at a desk waiting to help you. There might be someone from your distributor that's sitting at a desk and getting paid to help you, but that's not the case here. So, for example, when I finish a video, consider that I've pretty much used up all my volunteer time, and I give and give and give until I give out, really, at the end of each video. And there are other videos in the queue coming up, right? So I'm already getting started on the next video as well. But please understand that I have to limit my involvement, right? Because it only makes sense. Otherwise, I'm going to bleed out here. So if your cell phone battery is dead, you can kick and scream, and that cell phone is not going to respond to you. It's not going to be of any help, okay? You have to recharge it. And so there's no way that you can know the full schedule that I have, for example, the caretaking that I'm doing and all the providing that I have to do for my family as well. I have to do paying work too. I can't continue to do only freebie things. I'm not complaining. I'd love to be able to help everybody, but you can see that just for the modesty aspect of it, I have to draw the line somewhere. Thank you for understanding that. But what we do here on the channel, to answer your question, is to explore the science and the principles and the methods behind what we do. And the purpose for that is to give the technician the ability to make better judgments. It's designed to better equip the technician in the field to discern how to repair, how to attack any particular repair. Every repair is different. And in the field, even the most experienced tech will tell you that plan A doesn't always work, and we need to fall back on plan B. And therefore, we need a bag of tricks, if you will, to draw from for that specific repair. And that's the idea of this channel, to better equip the technician to make their own judgment. And as far as products are concerned, if we named specific products all the time in this channel, history has shown that those products sometimes get discontinued. If I posted a link to something I bought off of Amazon, for example, that link is no longer available, and then what do? You can't get the product I mentioned. The link is not working anymore, or the part's unavailable. So what do? Well, you fall back on what we highlight on this channel, and that's the principle of the repair. Then you can make your own judgment when you go to replace a product with another product. That's the idea behind the channel. It's highlighting the principles which only this channel can do. Let me illustrate that for you with this next repair. As you might imagine, this customer was sick when he sent me this photo. It's a brand new Lexus. And here's the repair. He was happier than a dog with two tails. In the picture, you can slightly make it out, but in person, the customer could not find it no matter how hard he looked. So that was a win. Is it because of my unique, superb skills? No, it's not about me. I face the exact same challenges you face every day. The credit for this repair goes to the principles behind using this pad. We highlighted using this pad in a previous video, and the important thing was that it allowed us to follow the contour, the very unique contour of the door panel. So here are the principles that come into play. 1. The pad is flexible enough to conform to the contour of the door panel. That's important. 2. It's rigid enough to force the repair to that contour, giving us the perfect shape on our repair. 3. It is dense enough to distribute the downward pressure of our hand evenly to the grain pad. Now, typically you wouldn't press down with just one finger as in this illustration, but it does demonstrate how that the pressure is evenly distributed across the surface of the door panel. So it is these principles that have contributed to the success of the repair. When you know, you know, you know. So there's an example of the analysis we do on this channel. And what makes the difference? Well, I ask questions probably to a fault, I'll have to admit. I feel like 90% of what people believe to be true can be debunked if you ask the right question. So we may not know the answer. We're just trying to find out the particulars of a subject. So on the scientific method, asking the question itself might expose the fact that we need to do further research and further analysis. One of the things that a commenter had mentioned is about his system requiring a primer, his color system always requiring a primer. So the question is why? The answer is that the distributor says that that has to be. Okay, but that doesn't give us enough quality information upon which to base all of our work. So I would ask the question, why? And I don't know the answer, but I could expect to hear back an answer. For example, translucent reds might need a custom base coat primer color. And I would accept that as an answer because we've proven that scientifically in a video on this channel. We know, we've already learned, and I can accept it. What about everything else, though? And the reason I would ask that question is because adhesion of any color coat could be measured by energy, right? So if we've already achieved a high energy surface, then why is there a need for a further primer? I don't have the answer, but I do have the question. And I will always have that question until achieving the appropriate answer. Just throwing that out there. That's what I do, maybe to a fault, in everything in my life, but especially in my work too. So here's a question of mine that I would like to throw out there for you. Can you use crosslinker in your air dry fillers? You might say, well, my distributor has never recommended that, or I've never heard of that being done. Okay, so we might go further and ask the question, what is the composition of the air dry fillers? That answer may not be forthcoming to you from your distributor or from your manufacturer. Okay, so you may have to guess. So what would be a typical composition? And based on that typical composition, is crosslinker recommended? Right? That would be a good question. Still, you may not have got to the answer yet, and you may have to do some field testing. And that may occur over the course of several repairs, maybe several months. They're going to be involved before you truly know either the benefits of using it or whether it would be contraindicated in that case. So I'm going to leave that to you. And if you would like to try that and respond back in the comments section, you will have contributed to a future video, and you can thank me later. Here's another one that I'm going to respond to, and this is the last one that I wanted to. I know this is getting a bit lengthy already, but someone has said, I already know how to repair whatever, leather, so I just skipped that video, or I just breezed through that video really quickly. And I appreciate your point of view. However, that's not the purpose of this channel. We have never sought to put one video up to illustrate what's already being done in the industry. That's not our purpose. We don't want to know that. We're not happy with where the industry has been. Every video has the intention of showing something new on this channel. We've changed or added to every aspect of the repair industry. We've built on what we've done previously. We've advanced, and sometimes we've just totally changed the process altogether into something new and modern. And one of the reasons for the voiceovers is the fact that when we present something new, we want to build upon what we already know and make a logical development of that and give careful attention to that. For example, this sentence is built upon the previous sentence, and the next sentence is built upon the current one. So that is how we want to look at every video for the most part. I mean, we've thrown in some videos in there just for entertainment purposes, but for the real repair videos, we want to build on what we already know and add some new ideas, some new perspective, some new methods, some new science that you never considered before, and some new principles that you've never asked the questions for previously. So that's the intent of this channel. It's helped a lot of people over the various comments we've received. People from the UK or Europe or the Middle East, Australia, South America have all commented that they have never had access to this kind of information before this YouTube channel. And certainly many people have not subscribed to any training that they were willing to pay for either. And so for the very first time in their long career, they're being exposed to some of the new techniques, and we're just happy to do that as much as I possibly can. One technician that always contributes to this channel is Mike. We interviewed him on this channel before, and here's an example of what he benefited from. On this channel, Mike became aware of the water-based metallic plastic coaters, which would be essential for doing this repair. Mike said he wished he had made that change a long time ago, and thank you for sharing, Mike. It was a real joy to spend a week with Mark, who's a new student He had a very positive, goal-oriented outlook. These are his first 2 field repairs for a real paying customer. We didn't get a before picture on the armrest. It had a hole all the way through it, and he did such a beautiful job on the texture on that steering wheel. And that was on day 2. Actually, on day 1, he did his first repair for a real customer on a series of about 25 flaps on this Rolls-Royce panel. Nice job. It's always my joy to show the first work of a student because it proves the method. In the same week, we had scheduled in this dash repair, which was the same compressed foam that we've discussed before, such as on the GM door panels. It's urethane over foam that stays indented and does not rebound back. A very new situation for the repair technician. It was good to see the smile on the customer's face for sure. I promise we're going to get to our repair shortly. But something I've learned recently, and it's took me an entire lifetime to appreciate this fact, is that taking vacation is an essential part of your work. I always thought it was something extra. But we have to recharge our batteries if we're going to work. And that's what that's all about. Now, Adanita loves to go to the beach. But understand that a lot of my work is in the sun, right? It's in full sun. It's on the pavement. It's in a car that's built up life-threatening heat inside. I'm working in there with a heat gun at 1,000 degrees. So vacation to me is not in the sun. How about that? Yet she likes to go to the beach. So we took a trip. Now, I do enjoy the breeze off of the beach. I enjoy the sand of the beach. I enjoy the water of the beach. It's the sun of the beach that I don't do well with. A little cheeky humor thrown in there. But I did spy this cabana down here, and that looked inviting. Plus, they had live music from various groups all day long. And Mr. Hollywood could walk on the beach when the sun went down a little bit. And let me take a minute to give a shout out to my friend Chris. He was passing through and he just finished up a tremendous repair that several techs turned down. He insisted on buying me a beer and I insisted on drinking it. And when 2 people get together, each insisting on their own way, you expect tension in the air like you see here. And now it's time to get to work. This is going to be quite a simple application, maybe with just a couple of pitfalls. This is the fold-down portion of a secretary's desk. And apparently, this was the original application on this heirloom desk. The tape is not sticking down very well, so I'm having to hold it down with the Bondo spreader. I'm afraid to do anything to improve the adhesion for this masking tape because I'll ruin the finish of the wood. Just have to work with what we have, for simplicity's sake. That adhesive tacks up pretty quickly so we can get right to business. Just taking care here to make sure we don't have any wrinkles trapped in here. As far as I know, green felt comes in a dark and a light variety. The darker one certainly is more stately for this heirloom furniture, in my opinion. As it was provided to me, it had creases in it, and it had dust on one side, which couldn't be cleaned out successfully. So the clean side up. Notice the surface too is rather irregular here on this wood. That's the way it was originally. No one took any pains to put any Bondo in there to level everything perfectly. So we are going back as original. Something to be aware of with this heirloom kind of furniture is that these lines, these edges of the wood are not perfect. They're not straight cuts. There is a lot that's happened over the years. Moisture, swelling and humidity, damages along the edge. I'm going to use my guitar pick here to score the edge, but bear in mind that there are places here that are wavy along the edge, and we're going to have to be very careful where we cut. It's just not as straightforward as you might think, especially right here. There's a lot of indents, a lot of waviness in the wood right there. And so our cut is going to have to be very particular. Now I've chosen to use a quality snap-off blade kind of knife here, simply because I want to be able to have a brand new edge for each step of the way. Using the scissors here to avoid accidentally cutting down into the wood finish. After the initial cut, I do have to pay attention to some stray fibers and just handle those individually. I think it's important or very helpful to continue to score that line and make sure that our knife cuts exactly along that edge, even if the edge is wavy. This edge of the wood is not very well defined, so I'm just having to be extra careful. And as a side note, not everything on this secretary's desk is getting refinished. There are some touch-ups being done, but it's being left in its as much original situation as possible. All the flaws, the aging of the wood, all of that is being left here. And there are these stray fibers that need to be either clipped off or tucked in. And I'll give you a look at the other side. When it's closed up, you see what that side looks like. You can see here what time has done to the wood, but that's a characteristic the wood shop is wanting to preserve. Well, there's something out of the ordinary, but something fun to know how to do. I'm going to leave you with one more question, and that question has to do with the qualities of the urethane adhesives that hold your windshield to the car. It's a tremendous product. Can I use it to fix these boots? Because if it works, I can save your soul. So this is not about boot repair. This is about how effective is that adhesive anyway, because I have actually used it in constructing my van interior. I have held two pieces of plywood together with the same adhesive. Well, you've just seen me clean the surfaces, and now it's time for the primer. Now for the adhesive out of the tube. It won't take much because this will be squeezed pretty tight. I'm going to clamp this together and leave it overnight. But here to prepare for that, I'm just stuffing something down in there. Let's give it some substance so that we can clamp against it. I don't want to hurt the leather too much. It's like we're creating some kind of a boot insect. It's feeling pretty good here. All that's going to follow now is a succession of trimming, filing, sanding, and finally some polish. It's been a year and a half, and they're the same as the day I did them. One more question answered. We're going to close out with these clips. My lizards have also closed out their season as of posting this video. They're going to be dormant for the next 6 months, and we'll be waiting for them.